Yo, peace was good. Welcome to another hip hop album review. This is part 137. The album that we'll be reviewing today is Dr. Dre's second album, Chronic 2001, released in 1999. All right. You guys by now should know who Dr. Dre is. I did a review on his first album, The Chronic. I did the Aftermath album, the Aftermath compilation album that came out in '96, and also did his latest Dr. Dre album, Compton, a couple weeks ago, and as well as like the first two NWA albums and stuff like that. So you guys should know by now who he is. So I guess this is kind of like the last finale with the Dr. Dre projects as far as I'm concerned. Um, like I said, I did a review on the Aftermath compilation album, maybe about a week and a half ago or whatever. But he dropped that in '96. I believe it went platinum, but it didn't really fit well with fans because people kind of wanted a Dr. Dre solo album, and he didn't. It was just a compilation album. It was pretty much like a sampler, like pretty much like showcasing the new artists on his new record label, Aftermath Records, and like I said, it went platinum, but it didn't fare well. And right after the album dropped, Dr. Dre, he was kind of quiet in a sense where, like, yeah, he did some production for Nas on his second album, It Was Written, and then he did some stuff for the Firm album with Nas, Foxy Brown, Nature, and AZ. But that didn't really do very well either because a lot of people wasn't really feeling that album, me included. You know what I mean? But that's a whole different topic. And then Dr. Dre was like in financial strain. Like he wasn't doing well. He was broke or anything. Like he had money, but his record label wasn't doing very well. Like nothing happened with those artists that was on that compilation album that dropped the year before. And, they didn't really do anything. Nobody dropped the album. Nothing. Like nothing came out. And a lot of they just kind of faded into obscurity. And then in 1998 is when he discovered Eminem, and then I guess he got a copy of Eminem's Slim Shady EP that came out independently in '97. He liked what he heard. Then he ended up, how that went. He signed Eminem. Then they started recording for Slim Shady LP, and because of that album, that album actually saved Aftermath Records. So that album, I believe, went like triple platinum or some shit like that, and so that album really. So in other words, Eminem saved Aftermath Records, and then that's when Dr. Dre just got back on his A game, and ever since then it's like pretty much the resurgence of Dr. Dre now, and then now there's been talk about how Dr. Dre hasn't really put out a solo album since '92, and he was kind of like, man, fuck this, I'm gonna prove to you guys that I still have it. I haven't fallen off or anything like that. So that's when he dropped this album right here, Chronic 2001. All right. There's a couple singles off the album. The singles are Still DRE, Forgot About Dre, and The Next Episode. And honorable mentions of the singles that weren't really singles, but they were like underground singles, and they did have radio play. I believe were I think Big Eagles, Explosive was a single, and What's the Difference, I believe were the singles as well. Even though, like I said, they were like more underground singles, but they were very popular and they still get like radio play and stuff like that. Those are the singles of the album. Production is done by Dr. Dre and Mel-Man. Mel-Man is in-house producer for Dr. Dre. Alright. Features in the album was a lot of features. The features are Exhibit, Trey D of Snoop Dogg's I forgot the name of the East Siders and stuff like that. Devin the Dude, Snoop, Hitman, Corrupt, Nate Dogg, rest in peace to Nate Dogg, 6'2", Eminem, Miss Rock, Eddie Griffin, said Corrupt already. This rapper said already. Mel-Man, Cyrus Henry, Eddie Griffin. I said again. Defari, shout out to Defari. I gotta get his first album, the Focus Daily album. I got that. I need to get that joint. I do have his 2003 album, Odds and Evens. I got that joint. Nocturnal, Time Bomb, King T. Shout out to King T. MC Ren, Cocaine. Shout out to Cocaine. Jake Steed, the porno rapper, the porno star. Mary J. Blige and Rel from shout out to Mary J. Blige and Rel of Rockefeller Records. Alright. That's what the album looks like. Got the sticker right here. I bought this back in 2000, so you can kind of see the age in the case and stuff like that. That's what the album looks like. This actual CD. It's kind of reminiscent of like the first Chronic albums, kind of almost similar in a sense. Then you see Dr. Dre over the mixing board smelling big bag of weed and stuff like that. Look how green that shit is. That's crazy. Alright. Then open it up. I got collage of pictures and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. You know what I mean? I think that's pretty dope. Alright. And like you said, like you got the credits and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. Then you see Dr. Dre right here. You see Mel-Man right here. Got the MPC 3000. You see the SP1200 in the background. Pretty sure that's the same SP1200 used to do all the classic albums, like, you know, Niggas for Life, Straight Outta Compton, like, you know, all this stuff, you know what I mean? Alright, you know how I get down. I'm gonna go through some of the tracks. Track 1 is just an intro that's featured Exhibit and Trey D. Yeah, it's just an intro, stuff like that. Track 2, The Watcher. That's a dope song. That's a Dr. Dre soul track. You know, just pretty much saying how what he talks about in that song, he just talks about how you know, things are not the same. Like, I haven't changed. Well, he's changed. Well, like, everything doesn't stay the same. Like how the streets aren't the same, the music game isn't the same anymore. But he's just saying like, yo, I'm still here. I haven't fell off. I'm still here. You know what I mean? Still doing my thing. Track 3, Fuck You, featuring Devin the Dude and Snoop Dogg. That's just pretty much a sex track, you know, pretty much take, you know, just sort of about, you know, just them fucking chicks and stuff like that. Pretty cool. Track 4, Still DRE, which I believe was the first single of the album, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that was the first single of the album. I remember hearing that song back in like, yeah, around like the fall of 1999. I mean, Hot 97 used to play that song all the time. Like, that was a big song back in the day. The video was dope too. Still DRE, you know what I mean? Still Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. That was pretty much. That's a solo track by Dr. Dre. You know, Snoop Dogg, he's like in the chorus and stuff like that. That was pretty cool right there. Track 5, Big Egos featuring Hitman. That was a pretty cool track right there. Love the beat, has a nice piano beat and stuff like that. Hitman, he does his thing too. Track 6, Explosive, featuring Hitman, Corrupt, Nate Dogg, and 6'2". That's a pretty dope song right there. Very popular. When you hear the beat, that acoustic guitar, I know I fucked up the beat, but that's pretty much, you know, a posse cut. Hitman, Corrupt, Nate Dogg, 6'2". Dope song. I feel like Nate Dogg stole the song. That should have been a Nate Dogg solo track. I think I could be wrong, but I think Nate Dogg has a solo track with just him on that beat, on a separate track. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm dreaming. I don't know. I'm not sure. But that definitely could have been a Nate Dogg song because to me he stole the show with that. He stole the song in my opinion. He did his thing on that. He definitely shined. Track 7, What's the Difference? Featuring Eminem and Exhibit. Love that song right there. That song right there, oh my god, like they all do their thing right there. Eminem fucking stole the show on that shit right there. He had the best verse on that shit right there. Exhibit definitely did his thing too on that. Exhibit, people sleep on Exhibit, you know, because people think like Exhibit of as, you know, Pimp My Ride Exhibit and that bullshit, but people don't realize that, you know, Exhibit used to be with Dilated Peoples, well, he was affiliated with them. Well, realistically, Alcoholics, but he used to roll with Dilated Peoples and stuff like that. But, you know, so he's from that era, you know what I mean? Alcoholics and stuff like that, you know, the Liquid Crew and all them cats, you know what I mean? People tend to forget that, but he can spit, the dude can spit. I did a review on his At the Speed of Life album, I think like earlier this year, like last year or whatever, I don't remember. And I gotta do a review on his second album, 40 Days and 40 Nights. So I gotta do a review for that, but someday I'll do it. But anyways, dope song, What's the Difference? Like I said, that's kind of like an unofficial single right there. Pretty dope. There should have been a video for that too, in my opinion. Track 8, Bar 1, that's just a skit. Track 9, Lightspeed. That was okay. That wasn't too bad. I believe I want to say Lightspeed was a solo track. Don't remember. That was alright. Track 10, Forgot About You featuring Eminem. That's another single too. I believe that was the second single of the album. When you hear Dr. Dre rapping, you can tell that Eminem kind of wrote his lyrics, or like kind of like just the way he was rapping, like his flow. It flows like Eminem. Something like you could tell when somebody ghost wrote for somebody is just the way that ghostwriters flow. That rapper raps on that ghostwriter's flow. You could kind of tell. You know what I mean? So, prime example, with Foxy Brown's Ill Na Na album. Well, throughout that album, you can tell that AZ wrote her lyrics. Jay-Z as well. Like you listen to them back in like 95, 96. Then listen to Foxy Brown. The way she flows, you could tell that she, you know, had her shit ghostwritten for her, So just by the way they flow, just a little tip and stuff like that. Just to give you guys a heads up on that. Forgot About Dre. There's a video for that too, featuring Eminem. A dope song right there. Definitely sounds something that could have been on an Eminem album, that could have been on some Shady Eat LP album. Very dope. Yeah, very dope song, classic song right there. Track 11, The Next Episode featuring Snoop Dogg. That's another single as well. There's a video for that. You just see them in a strip club, in a big ass strip club, and money getting thrown down and stuff like. Very dope video. The Next Episode, man. I mean, it's funny too because there's actually an original version of that song that was actually intended for Doggy Style, but they had to cut it out because of sample clearances and stuff like that. But that song was actually featured, like the actual beat was actually featured on Warren G's first album, regularly the G-Funk Era, that came out in '94, which I do have in my collection. Forgot the name of the song that he used it on, but that song was actually featured on Warren G's album, so just to give you guys a heads up. But it's a different beat, but same song. The only difference was with the original. I don't think Nate Dogg was in the original. Nate Dogg is in this version. So the Next Episode, yeah, man. Rest in peace to Nate Dogg. He just had that ill voice right there, man. They both do their thing. Next Episode, pretty dope. Track 12, Let's Get High, featuring Hitman, Corrupt, Miss Rock. That was alright. That wasn't too bad. Track 13, Bitch Niggas, featuring Snoop Dogg, Hitman, and 6'2". self-explanatory. It's just pretty much stood about how niggas act like bitches and shit like that. Definitely relatable because this cats these days act like bitches and shit, worse than girls, and that's pretty much what he talks about. He's just talking about how niggas will talk shit behind your back, but while he will smile in front of your face, and you got the haters and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they pretty much talk about. Track 14, Car Bomb, that's just a skit right there. Track 15, Murder Inc. featuring Hitman and Miss Rock. Dr. Dre is now featured on the song. It's just Hitman and Miss Rock, pretty dope track. It's actually one of my favorite joints on the album. Uses the Halloween sample, pretty dope right there. Track 16, Education. It's just Eddie Griffin, he's so stupid. It's a skit, but it has a dope beat in the background, pretty dope. I just wish Dr. Dre used that beat for a song, because I hate when artists did that. Like, they would do skits, but they would have like dope beats over the skits, and sometimes the beat for the skits sound better than some of the songs for other beat. If that makes sense, you guys will know what I'm trying to say. But he kind of wasted a good beat in my opinion. Track 17, some LA niggas. That's a posse cut featuring Defari, Exhibit, Nocturnal, Time Bomb, King T. Shout out to King T. MC Ren and Cocaine. Pretty dope song. My only gripe was MC Ren didn't have no verse. He just did the intro, and that kind of pissed me off because I'm a big MC Ren fan. By the way, I did a review on his Shock the Yow album. Definitely check that out. Just go on my page, my channel, type in MC Ren, and it should pop up. I gotta get his Kiss My Black Ass EP, and I have to do a review on his Villains for Life album. So, I'm sorry, I'm confusing his Ruthless for Life. The Villain in Black album. I have to do a review on that, so stay tuned for that. They all do the thing. King T, fucking delivers. I think King T is so underrated, man. I feel like he doesn't get the shine that he deserves. And I believe around this time, I think the year before, he was supposed to drop on an album. He was supposed to drop an album back in '98 with Aftermath Records, because at the time he was signed to the Aftermath Records. But I think it got shelved and never came out. So, which sucks because that was very common with Aftermath Records. They're very notorious for that. Like, they would sign certain artists, but they never drop anything. Look at Rakim. Dr. Dre signed Rakim, Joel Ortiz. Nothing ever happened, and that was due to like creative differences and stuff like that. So, but yeah, some LA niggas, like I said, there's a posse cut. Track 14, Pause for Porno, featuring Jake Steed, Porno Star. That's just a skit, just him, just fucking bitches and shit like that. Track 19, Housewife, featuring Corrupt and Hitman. This is a, sex track, another sex track and stuff like that. Track 20, Act Right. That's a soul track right there with Hitman. You know what I mean? Just him displaying his lyrical game and shit like that. Track 21, Bang Bang, featuring Nocturnal Hitman. That's another dope track right there, dope beat. And track 22, The Message, featuring Mary J. Blige and Rawls. That's a pretty dope song. It's pretty much a heartfelt song. That song was actually produced by Lord Finesse. It's funny too because there's a dope story with that song, The Message. Lord Finesse, he went to LA and he actually, I think he brought his SP1200 or he brought some disc, and like when he was loading up the disc, he felt embarrassed because the loading time for the SP1200 takes a couple of minutes to load up a beat, and he was so embarrassed because Dr. Dre is somebody of high stature, so like it's kind of like first impression with Dr. Dre. He's like that kind of dude. He seemed like that kind of dude. So like his first impression with you would be his last impression. So Lord Finesse kind of felt embarrassed, and because of that, after that he stopped fucking with the SP1200, and that's when he started messing with the 3000 and stuff like that. So he deemed it as like, you know, the SP-1200 being a dinosaur and stuff like that. But the message, like I said, that was produced by Lord Finesse, dope beat, and that's actually a Lord Finesse solo track that he did years ago, like around the same time. It's actually featured on one of his compilations album that he dropped back in like '07 or '08 or some shit. Like, I think it was called Rare and Unreleased, like stuff that he never dropped officially and stuff like that. I'll post it down in the description box. But that song, the message, it's pretty much, you know, in the first track he talks about him losing his brother Tyree. You know, he talks about him losing his brother. I think he was killed or some shit that I don't remember. Yeah, I think he was killed. Yeah, so he talks about that in the first verse. And the second verse, he talks about Eazy-E. He talks about how he misses Eazy-E, he loves him and stuff like that. Like the beef that he had between them, like, was bullshit and stuff like that. Pretty heartfelt track. Kind of you know, a great way to end the album and stuff like that, man. But that's pretty much it, man. Definitely my verdict on the album, classic album. My only gripe was some of the beats. Some of the beats were kind of like, they didn't really stand out to me. A little bit too laid back for me, you know, especially for Dr. Dre. You know, I don't know. I'm just spoiled from his early to mid '90s stuff, because his stuff was a little bit more hyped up in a sense, you know what I mean? But it's still Dr. Dre, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, overall very dope. All the guest appearances, they all did their thing on this album. But like I said, I'm not the biggest Corrupt fan, so Corrupt, he's okay. He's underrated. He's definitely underrated. He does deliver from time to time, but I'm just not too fond of him like that, man. That's just me. Same thing with Daz, you know what I mean? But whatever. I mean, definitely, you know, with this album, Dr. J definitely reinvented himself. My only gripe with the album was that, you know, he didn't really change the subject matter. He just did a lot of braggadocious tracks, a lot of gangster tracks. His smoke weed, fucking bitches and stuff like that. But it's still Dr. Dre, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't change anything. I just wish there would be a little bit more conceptual tracks, like, you know, Murder Inc., you know what I mean, Car Bomb, you know, shit like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. And Eminem and Dr. Dre, their chemistry together when they rap, fucking phenomenal. It's a shame that they never dropped anything like as far as like a collab album together right next to each other, like a collab album between Eminem and Dr. Dre. That would have been fucking dope, especially around this time, you know, and when Eminem was in his prime. Eminem now sucks. Yeah, I said it, I don't care. He's still dope. He's not my favorite. Yeah, I don't put him in my top 10 or my top 20. I think he's dope, but I think he's a little bit overrated. But he got skills. The man can spit, you know what I mean? But I'm just not feeling his new shit now. He's gone on emo, he got on commercial and stuff like that. I like when he was more offensive, and his production back then was dope too. Guilty Conscience, I mean, just that chemistry that they had together was dope. And that's pretty much it, man, with Cartel 2001. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. Stay tuned for more videos, more beat videos, shit like that. Alright, hold it down. Happy Sunday. Stay positive. Long live hip hop. Peace.